do you think we would have a problem? We the Muslim, do you think we would have a problem? You're laughing again. My answer is not your laugh. Now let's break it down.
What else did Jesus say?
Who's the Father?
The Father who dwells in me
Okay.
doeth the work. So the true God was dwelling in the physical flesh of
Okay.
Christ.
Okay. If I show you that, if I show,
That's a key point.
Okay.
Go.
Okay. Again, I'm going to give you other references where it's going to dismantle your.
That's fine.
Okay.
Because
Psalm 100.
Who's the Father?
In the Greek it says, Curious said to Curious, sit thou on my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool.
So can we stick to our topic? Father is the God of Israel.
Yep.
The one Jesus worshipped.
I would say Jesus Christ is the God of Israel.
Okay. Did Jesus worship the Father?
In his flesh, yes.
In his flesh. Or did Jesus, flesh or not flesh? Did Jesus,
No.
whoever was that?
Physical flesh of Jesus Christ.
Okay.
The one true God of Israel.
Jesus the entity. Jesus the principality. Jesus the person, the phenomenon. I'm talking about Jesus the phenomenon.
Yeah.
Okay. Did he worship the Father?
Jesus bowed down, he prayed, he communicated with
My
God.
question was so simple. Why are you giving?
Yes, go.
So Jesus worshipped the Father.
In his physical flesh, yes.
Okay. So when Jesus, having worshipped the Father, says the Father is the only true God, putting these 2 points together, any sane person, any child with sanity and ability to think, what conclusion do you think he or she would reach?
And when you add that verse to I and the Father are one, when you add that verse to in the beginning,
And then the disciples are one with Jesus.
But this is the point. You don't read the Quran and read one page and say, "Not like this is it." No, you read the whole thing in context.
If the Quran tells
And
me,
when you see the
if the
whole
Quran tells me,
story, it is
wait,
consistent
if the
with Jesus Christ
Quran, if the
is God.
Quran tells me Allah is the only true God, and then in another place the Quran tells me Muhammad is God.
And it also
Okay,
says
wait.
that people worship
Wait. If the Quran, wait.
Many occasions.
Listen, Samson. If the Quran tells me Allah is the only true God, and then in another passage the Quran tells me Muhammad is God,
It's very simplistic.
you're not listening. Samson, you're not listening. You're indulging. Can you, brothers, not indulge? If the Quran says Allah is the only true God, and in another place the Quran states Muhammad is God, do you think we would have a problem? We the Muslim, do you think we would have a problem? You're laughing again. My answer is not your laugh. You have a beautiful laughter, by the way. You have a beautiful smile and a beautiful laughter, but that's not my answer.
It depends on your theology.
Yes, exactly.
That's a key thing.
Okay.
You just said
Any theology.
No.
I'm saying any theology.
Just said, if the Quran said that Allah is the true God, and then there was somewhere else in the Quran that said Muhammad is God, or Muhammad is Allah, what would that tell you?
Okay.
What your theology would change.
That means wait. Let me respond to you. If the Quran
your theology
said
would change.
Yes, let me respond. If the Quran said Allah is the only true God, and then it said Muhammad is God, there are 2 possibilities here. Either Allah is not the only true God, or Muhammad is God but he's not true God. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Understand the logic?
I know it's difficult.
You're saying
I know it's difficult.
Allah is the only true God, and Muhammad is God.
There are 2
And Muhammad is Allah.
Wait. By any standard, any philosophical standard or any theology, there are 2 statements. One is Allah is the only true God. Another statement is Muhammad is God. A'udhu billah. Okay? Now, there are only 2 possibilities looking at these statements together. One, Allah is not the only true God, or Muhammad is God and he is not true God.
Well, Muhammad is Allah.
Exactly.
No.
That is actually
No.
See what you're doing right now is you're blocking off the third
The
option.
Holy Prophet is the messenger of God.
Yeah, we know, we're making a point. Yes, we understand.
The one issue with what we're saying today is that we're not only looking at that one verse.
Okay, that's a good. He raised a good point. That if Muhammad is Allah, then the statements could be reconciled. Okay, but if Muhammad in the same Quran said elsewhere that Allah is greater than I worship Allah, I bow to Allah. Okay, I can do nothing without Allah. Okay, I am going to Allah, my Allah and your Allah. Okay, I am nothing without Allah. You the mushriks, you don't know what you're doing. You worship like us and then you will be successful because I worship Allah. Okay, if Muhammad was saying all this and then he was saying I am Allah or I am God and then he's also saying Allah is the only true God, I would go and bang my head against the wall.
No, but this is
If I was reading a Quran like that one, the one I quoted to you, A'udhu Billah, it doesn't exist. But I would, if I ended up with that theology, I would go and myself.
So what I would say is this.
Or abandon it. Or abandon it.
In response to what you're saying,
Your answers are long.
hold on, it's fine.
No, no problem.
One thing I've acknowledged, wait. One thing I've acknowledged consistently throughout today is that he's presented some good arguments, no problem. And he's also said some things that are actually wrong, no problem. But the point is, I'm entitled to my opinion.
No problem.
I respect
Yes, please go ahead.
what you're saying,
Yes.
no problem.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is this. The premise of your statement affects the conclusion. It does, okay? The way you presented what you're saying affects your conclusion.
Okay.
Christian theology isn't based on a single verse, it's based on taking the whole New Testament and the whole Old Testament and trying to understand what is really being communicated.
Trinitarian theology, yes? Trinitarian theology.
Biblical.
No, sorry. You can only be an if you make that statement and wipe away all the 3 centuries of scholarship in the first 3 centuries, because they did not believe in what you believe in. Their theology was different.
They all believe Jesus Christ.
I am talking about their belief about. I am talking about their belief about the Holy Spirit. Their belief about Jesus Christ. Okay, your Christianity came about 4th century onwards.
Can't prove that.
I will prove it. You want to have a conversation? No, not Nicaea. Before Nicaea, pre-Nicaea. We have the writings.
I know.
And
We have the writings of the church fathers. None of them, not one of them said what you believe in. Not one of them.
They declared Jesus Christ as God. Absolutely.
No. They spoke.
They said
They
Jesus Christ is
presented.
God.
And a lot.
The church fathers.
There is no silence.
Espouse heretical.
With the church fathers,
I know what you're saying.
the most detailed narrative on the Trinity is with Tertullian.
Arguably,
Yes, Tertullian. Wait. I'm finishing.
Brothers.
Yeah. No. That's 4th century. Tertullian is 2nd century. Okay, wait. Tertullian spoke about the Trinitas.
We're diving into a new area.
Wait, no. I'm finishing. I'm making my point and moving on. Tertullian was not a Trinitarian like you are.
Nicene Trinitarian.
No, Tertullian was before Nicaea.
I know, that's why I said he might not be a Nicene Trinitarian.
Okay, then was he a heretic? He was a subordinationist.
It's difficult.
He was.
That's a different topic.
Okay, so the most learned men in the first 3 centuries of Christianity
that's an appeal to authority. That's a fallacious argument.
It's not. No. You're also okay. Where did you get your Trinity from?
Well,
Who argued for it?
Bible.
No.
Well, okay. Well, yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Absolutely not.
No, wait.
No.
Yes.
From Greek philosophers.
Well, no. That's
From Hellenic thinkers in the 3rd and the 4th century.